During the day I make sound effects for video games, but you know, I'm quite a sad guy, so in the evening I like to make video games just for myself. I've been working on this game called Legatus for a little while now, on and off. It started out as a little game jam competition at work, but I always liked it and I've always intended to come back to it, so every now and again I jump in and make some new levels and that sort of thing. One thing I was never particularly happy with was the sound effects on the game, and I've wanted to dive into the Syntrx to explore its sound design capabilities for quite a while. I thought it could be pretty interesting to mix the very dry 8-bit arcadey sounds I made for the prototype with, you know, Syntrx's vintage kind of 70s spring reverb, dark analog strangeness. So how I approach sound design with synthesizers is that I think about the kind of tones and textures I want. Either I'm trying to make something very specific, like an object, or I'm just kind of working with the palette. Once I create a patch that kind of represents this, I then play with it and stretch it as far as I can. And this could take, you know, 10, 15, 20 minutes of just noodling around. After I'm done with that, I'll drag it into Reaper and I'll cut out sections I like from it and then use those as kind of source building blocks to create new sounds with. It's a little bit like fishing for sounds or kind of field recording within a synth. I don't really know where it's going to go, but I want to catch some ideas just through the performance and playing of it. So I had a pretty good idea about what I wanted from the Syntrx with this recording. I wanted to use a spring reverb a lot, and I wanted to use the ring modulator, because I feel like those sounds combined again with the 8-bit arcadey thing could create an interesting, unique mood. So here's a little excerpt of my recording session with the Syntrx, and after this I'll show you how I combined it and put it in the game. First of all, I kind of went through the long recording takes, and then I just went through, listened to it all and just cut out interesting little sounds. I'm usually looking for something that's got an interesting articulation or envelope to it, something that sounds like it's an action as opposed to just a plain synth sound, right? So, you know, using envelopes and the joystick on the Syntrx to change the pitch of the oscillators and the filters and that sort of thing really helped me perform like these little kind of articulated actions. So I went through everything, cut everything out, and I thought it would be cool to drag in the old prototype sounds I made and kind of embellish them with these new Syntrx sounds. So the end result, actually, I've ended up using predominantly the Syntrx sounds. I've removed a lot of the prototype sounds that were there before. I did embellish a couple of sound effects with additional sounds just to help the player kind of associate some sounds with some real actions. So like a little cymbal swish when a player triggers a slow motion effect is, you know, something that's kind of expected, and it kind of helps players read and understand what's happening in the game. So yeah, after that, here's the end result. So I think it's a pretty unique sounding thing, and I'm looking forward to developing this further as I go.